He said, you could put a crack in my arm like I crack in the Liberty Bell. I'm never going to give.
All right. Clear the table, grab the dice. Grizzly and Jesse are in the house. Welcome to Rolling Recklessly, where the battle lines meet the sky. May your crips be high, may your pain never dry, and your roads be ever reckless.
All right, guys, the dust is settled. The dice have stopped rolling, and Team Reckless is back from the Heroes Cup Green Banner with plenty of stories to tell. I'm your host, Grizzly.
And I'm your co-host, Scarecrow.
And man, what a weekend. Over the last few weeks, we've been building up to this event, breaking down the players, packet, making predictions, and getting ourselves ready for one of the biggest team tournaments in Arizona. Now, we're finally back, and we've got plenty to talk about.
Yeah, it was a long weekend, man. Like, GT is always a big endeavor when it's 2 full days of Sigmar. That first day, it can feel like, like an endeavor. You're crawling back to bed by the end of the night. But yeah, man, it's good to be back, and it's good to be able to reflect on it with you like this.
Yeah, I know. It's nice. We had like a day or two to like go home. Like, today for me for us is Monday. It's Monday night. We played yesterday, less than 24 hours ago. Everything's still pretty fresh, we did have to have a chance to go home. I didn't get a lot of amount of sleep. I obviously had a great weekend.
Yes, you did.
But it's been nice to go home and kind of like reflect on everything. And it really like reinforces the feelings that I've had like while I'm playing. Like, am I making good choices and all this? It's like, in the right moments at the right times, I guess I can. That's kind of nice. So maybe not always, but against like these people and at this time and with this list and in this GHB and in this timeline of the world, things worked out well.
It's a good send-off for a Scourge of Gyran, because I feel like you and I did a lot of work to get, competent with that game system and get, the game mechanics down to where we were playing in a way that was more advantageous towards our armies and our play styles. I think we found a lot of success over the weekend, and I look at all of our games and I'm proud of us, bro. I'm proud of how we did and the choices we made and like the impact we make on the game. Like, I think people will remember my Stormcast. People will remember your Sylvaneth. And in like an ocean of Sylvaneth players, it seems, since their book released, I feel like you do stand out. I like that you stand out. You know what I mean? I always thought going into these things that Stormcast would have a lot of representation. But, there's always just like a few other Stormcast players. You know what I mean? So it's always cool that I see like there's 3 Stormcast players in this tournament. So like we are like out there, like we're still here, we're still strong, like using our same old tricks from freaking 3 years ago. We're still here, we're still strong. So
you guys, you still have Grand Hammer Annihilators.
yeah, they will make their mark, bro. They will make their freaking mark. Those Vanguard long strikes, bro. They will make their mark on the game, and it was a fun tournament. It was a fun send off. I'm excited to get that new GHB. Down to reading the book and seeing the new objective markers and figuring out the new tactics. I can't wait to train with you. I can't wait to play it casually, bro. I feel like we've got a nice long break until we're competing again. So it feels good to finally wind down and just, like you said, just sit back like old men in 2 rocking chairs and be like, remember when we played in the Green Banner Heroes Cup? Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Team Reckless remembers.
Team Reckless remembers. But yeah, I love Team Reckless, bro.
I love that. I think that's going to be a great way to send us off into our first and, our main segment for the night. We had a great tournament, in my opinion. We showed up. I felt like in this tournament, we were really prepped as far as like me and you are ever kind of prepped as far as. I mean, maybe anything. I don't know. I don't know. Even your personal life is like, I felt like I showed up and I had a good list, and it was a list that I ran a million times with
Oh
units that
yeah.
I've ran a million times.
Oh yeah.
I felt like really good, you know. I felt like when we played a Gamers Guild, it was the same list I ran for the last like month and a half, maybe a month.
Yeah.
Basically the same list I ran at the teams tournament, the 3-man.
Yeah.
But like I did it. There was a couple like significant changes. I will acknowledge that, but it's basically all the same stuff.
I think silently you were going in there as one of the most competitive Sylvaneth players, like in the area, bro. Like, I think that you stunned your opponents, and you probably had some shocking upset victories. And I think that you are as tough as opponent as they come, and your name is out there now. They're like, if you're playing Grizzly, aka Robert Sylvaneth, you better be playing at the peak of your ability.
Yeah.
Because trust me, take it from a guy who's played this guy a million times over, from the very first game of Sigmar I ever played to me being like a super adept and like knowing player. They're tough. Like, me and Robert's games are not fun. Like, they're like like a chess game. You know what I mean? Like, it's sweaty and uncomfortable. Thankfully
me and
now
you have to go out of our way to make our games fun. Like, it's like, hey, I know this is this. I want this to occur actually because I want this to happen for you, or you want this to happen for me because we're both trying to make each other grow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like, hey, let's go take a dab. You know, I love that. Yeah.
Because we've entered like so many competitive situations now. This was our third GT under the belt, guys. Third GT in under a year. Like, people don't really do that kind of thing. People like,
I bet you, me and you, as like our team with Zach, are probably more consistent than like at least half the teams, right?
For sure, bro. I mean, look,
just as me and you as a team, like a real team, me and you are very consistent as far as like players, you know?
One GT would wear somebody out for an entire year.
Yeah. And you know what? Me and you have done what? This is our second GT. So, you know, it seems like we're a real team.
I would say so, bro. We're as real deal as Evander Holyfield. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Team Reckless is a team that people will remember the name, they'll remember the players, they'll remember the armies, and they'll remember that handsome face that Robert brought.
Yeah. The Wolverine face. They're gonna remember the claws.
They're gonna remember, yeah. I like the hat and the flannel, bro.
That's what I thought was like. It's gonna be legit if you're like, if you know who it is. They're like, it's gonna look sick.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah.
You know who was like an outshine to me for our teammate was Johnny. He's like, I don't got shit, guys, basically. And then he came through and Ben hooked him up with the mask or the helmet.
The helmet, yeah.
And then he painted the helmet so it looked actually legit as fuck.
Legit, right? Yo. That looked like one of those like ones you buy from like X-Men Effects, and like it cost $200. That was a nice helmet, bro. Like,
we have some Etsy helmet type shit.
I was so proud of Johnny. So proud of Ben with the blue fur and the lab coat. Hilarious beast, bro.
Well, my favorite part was like Johnny's like, "Do you guys have a cape?" And we're like, no." And then we got the banner.
Yes.
The banner from the Green Banner tournament that we just competed in, and we're competing right now. You know, like that was sick. And then just
perfect.
Our picture, I think, was dope. I think we had like there's a lot of cool themes. I mean, at least a couple cool themes, you know. But I thought we were Team House of Hobbies Black, and I thought we did pretty great as far as like
I just we had Rogue and then I was Cyclops, and it was just hilarious that we were the X-Men, bro. You would think we were playing Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yeah, that's exactly. Somebody's like,
let him down.
One of these guys like there's some people who want to speak to you. You know what?
Like, why aren't you playing our game? You're literally our characters.
So what was like some of your first impressions when we jumped into the tournament?
Oh yeah, so first of all, it was a little bit confusing getting there, man. I had never been to Westworld before. I don't know if you had before,
Nope.
but
I knew what it was, kind of, but I've never been there.
yeah, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like if you're in Arizona or even like nearby, like you've heard of it as like this kind of like Western like horses kind of place, right? You almost think of like a rodeo, right? When you think of Westworld. But
Yeah.
then you get there and it's these long roads and then they lead down these like confusing back lots and then yeah the Green Banner tournament was, and I don't know if it was like a barn or some kind of barn like facility, but it was semi open air and a little bit muggy in there, a little bit hot. I'm not sure this is the best venue for this time of year in Arizona, late June. It gets mighty hot out there, and it was a long walk from the parking lot through like dirt and gravel, like and
Yeah.
then immediately to concrete. And I was just like, "Holy moly, this is hot!" You know what I'm saying? And then the beverage cost, that does not complement the heat. So it was
No.
those are some of the first harsh realities going in, and then you see an ocean of people and you're like, oh my god, all these people play Warhammer, and they're like, yeah, Warhammer 40K. You Age of Sigmar players are back there. So you got to walk the entire length of the showroom, what is equivalent to a country mile. And if you're like me and old Grizzly here, you don't have a fancy like roll around case yet. You have just a box that you carry with manpower. So we make this, quarter mile journey down to the Age of Sigmar tables that they delegated at the very far end to stay out of the way of the 40K players.
Hey, it was nice when we like the heat like got really kind of like warm, and whenever we got real tight. If you were on the outside tables, it was actually a lot better.
Yeah, I think because of crowd disbursement, you know what I mean? All the crowd was focused over in the 40K section. So we were kind of like on the outlier. So like you said, if you're on the end tables, you got a lot of room to stretch around. Like if you didn't like the terrain on your table, you could take it from the one next to you. You're like, okay, I'll just use that one instead. But yeah, it was odd at first, but then once we were in there and everybody was situated at their tables and around their teammates, I was like, okay, it's a little bit of a walk. It's a little bit of a strange environment. I don't know if these things are typically hosted in barns, but yeah, I was like, this is we're here. Let's do this thing, and that led right into our round one bye right there, Grizzly.
I know, man. We really lucked out as Ben. I don't know. He did the captain's meeting. You know what I mean? Remember, I think they all had to meet up at 9 a.m. and they had to do the captain's meeting. In the captain's meeting, all the captains met up, and I think is what it was is like they were deciding kind of like the rules and everything for the day. I do understand. When you have so many people and it's such a large tournament and there's so many competitive players there, I think you really got to pay attention to the rules and all the like consistencies you're like applying to what's going on. I do know they at the second day after everything, they were kind of like talking over like the way the pairings works is basically like clicking like apply this, don't apply this, apply this, don't apply this. It's it's like a pretty simple simulator, but it's like there's so many like switches you can turn on and off.
Sure. But at the end of all of that algorithm, it led to us having a round one bye. And it kind of, it felt a little bad, like getting there so early, so prepared, in costume. And then they're like, yeah, stand around for the next, 3-4 hours while everyone else plays.
So what was your thoughts on the bye?
I was like, hey, you always want to get at least one win at the tournament, guys. And ours just got handed to us.
Yeah, my favorite thing to Flex was yeah, we didn't even have to play and we already won.
Yeah, we're already 1-0, baby. So yeah, I mean, as far as like is it the preferred buy round? No, but it gives you that nice cushion going into game 2, baby. So I was just like, yeah, Why not?
Yeah, I felt like going into game 2 after having the first round bye. I was ready. I was focused. I was dialed in. I'm not gonna lie. I used that first round bye to go and watch everybody's games. We had 3.5 hours to go through and see all the players. There was a lot of really good players. I thought the roster was like an insane amount of people for us to play in. You know what I mean? It's crazy that me and you got to go meet and like play with all these guys, and all of them are super dope. And for us to do as good as we did, it's like, dude, very, very, very sick.
Absolutely. Winning isn't everything. It certainly feels great, and some people get to experience it more than others. But the main thing you want to do is play well. You know what I mean?
Yes,
do
that's
what
the
your
thing.
army does well.
Yes. That's the thing. I'm really happy for us. As me and you both, like, we made good choices for as far as like two dipshits like me and you. You know what I mean? Like, hey, bro, they did it. Like, that's sick.
Yeah, dude, and hey, we didn't have to fight eels.
Yeah, poor Johnny.
Yeah, we didn't have to fight eels. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have to fight the 4 hell-pit abominations or whatever that was.
Yeah, yes,
you know what I mean? There was much more devastating scenarios we could have been put into.
You know
but
what? I do want to give a shout out. Shout out to my boy Scarecrow Poe over here, fucking crushing that bloodthirster list. Like, it was.
Oh yeah,
I think another player came up and told me Scarecrow is putting on a clinic on that bloodthirster list over there. And so he was checking on my game to see how I was doing. So it was pretty nice.
Bloodthirsters are absolutely terrifying, bro. And with Scarbrand there too, it just seems like you're in for like a hellish nightmare of a game. And that was one that I was able to pull my actual win in, and it felt good to, everyone knows that this entire edition, the Baleful Lords, 4 Bloodthirsters in Scarbrand, 5 Bloodthirsters in Scarbrand, like everyone is doing that list, and they know that that's a super competitive list. And it felt nice to vanquish it. It felt in true like Stormcast fashion, like taking down Khorne as Stormcast, shooting those demons down with my long strikes, holding the line with my annihilators and reclusions, bro. It felt so good to get that victory, man. So yeah, shout out to Big Mike from East County Heretics, one of the coolest teams at the tournament. Yeah, so like if you can get that one good win, if you can play well that one time, then it's worth it. It's worth it to go out there and risk your pride. It's worth it to go out there and get crushed, to face the adversity of like being outplayed by a very skilled player. You got to learn to let these things go, man, because you can only forge your iron by scraping it against tougher iron. And it showed me in that tournament that there's competition that is tough as nails, bro. And we were fortunate with, the way the tournament was playing out with our round 1 bye, where we were, allowed to play some really chill games, dude. And I was really appreciative of it, because it just amazed me. In round 5, I ended up playing Rick, and I played with Rick earlier this week as a practice game, and he's Zinch. So I'm like, he knew we were gonna play.
He did. He prepped it. He taunted you. He even flexed it.
He knew we were gonna play. He's the greater Lord of Change, and he knew. He had one like foot in the future and one in the past.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. He like, that's it. Because I remember you talking about it. You're like, yeah, I have a game with Rick, and I was like, oh, even Johnny, I think even says like that's not a good matchup for you. It sounds like you did pretty decent. Like Zinch is really hard to kind of prep for. There was a lot of those lists that when we were playing, it was like super. every list was like, you could see it was optimized. Some of them were like super nasty. You're like, that's not going to be pleasant.
Sure, man. You know, right after the fighting the Baleful Lords Bloodthirster list, I had to go fight 4 Gargants. So it's like, I understand what it's like to like have to face like some crazy like, you know, construction against you, but that's what makes Age of Sigmar so fun, bro. Is like you get a chance to try to overcome these odds, and even if you lose the game, you can still give your opponent a run for their money. You can still make them sweat it out all the way to the very end. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever just like take your loss as it's a reflection of your character or your inability as a player to make the right decisions. Like, sometimes the game doesn't go in your way. It's a dice game, bro. I remember one of my games. Oh man, I can't remember the guy from the Lamer Boys. I mean the Llama Boys, the Llama Boys. I forget his name. I'm so sorry, but he was playing Nurgle, and Nurgle has a lot of effects that go off on a bad D3. And I swear, if you could roll a 1 in the worst situation, this guy rolled a 1 every time he didn't need to. And
man, isn't that the worst? Isn't that the worst when you're playing really well and you know you got a really good team and there's somebody who's really counting on you and you fail them, you know, just
yeah, bro. It's like everyone can get the job done except for this one guy. And
that's the worst.
And it seemed like that's what was happening in this guy's like game plan. Like they just needed to not have this 1. And then he kept rolling a 1, and I was like, sometimes it's just one fucking time, one fucking guy, and it's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy, but yeah, that just shows you how insane that, you know, Sigmar can be, because luck is still a huge like factor in the game, and Lady Luck decides who she's gonna kiss and who she's gonna blow off. And I've been kissed by Lady Luck, and I've been slapped in the face by her too. So
she straight up dropped her big balls on you like blah.
Yeah, she straight came from 6 to 12 with the elbow on me, and it hit me right in the jaw. So it's like it's crazy that this dice game that we all love, that we all cherish, it takes us on these wild rides with one another. And you know, I had played with some of the people that I had played in the tournament with before, which was nice. You get that familiarity. You have that kind of like friendly rivalry. You have that chance to like prove to your co Warhammer buddies, you know, everyone who's been throwing their lives at this too. You get a chance to like be like, okay, we meet again on the battlefield. It's good to see you again, old friend. Let's see how you've improved. Let's see how I've improved. And I feel like people who played me at Smite, if they got to play me again now, like I'm a much different player. I know that the people that I saw playing before, they are playing different armies entirely this time. And I'm like, man, I want to get to that level. I want to get to where I can jump from army to army. Because right now I only see the battlefield through the Stormcast eyes. I only want to see the battlefield through the Stormcast eyes. But it's like, it's cool to see that you have so much game potential out of this system. Like as soon as you get bored with one army, you can just go to another army and it's a whole nother world. As soon as you get tired of this color scheme or this lore or this play style, or you know what I mean, just even these models, you know. And I've been rocking with Stormcast since the start of the edition, bro, and they're the poster boys and they're the starter army. But I just love them, bro. I love them more every day, dude. Every time they do well for me. I love you guys. You're my boys.
I feel like you love them so much. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me. I love Stormcast. Like you see the logo, the emblem. It's the Grizzly and the Stormcast armor. That's like his theme. That's like our theme.
Yeah,
like for Sigma.
Ever since you started, bro.
Not gonna lie, ever since you started doing the for Sigma, like I felt that. I'm like, all right, I'm with you.
Yeah, you have to. Sometimes you have to call to Sigmar. He'll blast your dice, bro. All hammers. You will roll all hammers if you call to Azir. But you have to be ready.
There's some times when you roll some crazy rolls. Did you? Speaking of that, did you have any crazy rolls this weekend?
Yeah, 5-up ward is really easy to make.
It's real easy to make. Yeah, you're making a bunch of 5-up wards.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of 5-up wards. So if you have a way to put a 5-up ward on your units in Age of Sigmar, do it. Because for some reason 5-ups go off better than a 2-up.
Only on a ward.
Only
Only
on a
on a
ward.
ward.
Only on a ward. I don't know what it is about that ward, but like I have just completely bombed saves and then slammed the ward. So I'm just
Horses still don't hit. You know what I mean?
That being said, like yeah, some of those lists, man, you needed that ward, dude. The damage that armies can put out in Age of Sigmar is unfathomable sometimes. You know, some of the things that I got swung on over the weekend, I'd never been swung on before. You know, I'd never been swung on by rot swords. You know what I mean? I'd never been swung on by you know, three gargants all at once. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, yeah, this is tough to survive. You know, I've never fought something and then it just swappied away. You know what I mean? So these were really cool mechanics, and I feel like all of the armies had really good representation, dude. All of the I never fought like the same army twice, you know, never fought a mirror match. These are things I don't want to do when I go into a tournament. And there's enough diversity and variety in the lists and what people are rolling where you don't have to do that too much, you know. And I don't know about you. Like, did you ever have any like mirror matches? Did you have any like double matches? Like, oh, it's slaves right back into slaves.
You know, actually, that did happen. I think I just had like a. So the way teams works is, you know, certain teams are like more advantageous towards other teams.
For sure.
I think my list was built to score, you know.
For sure.
So I knew as far as like my role as our player on the team is I need to get as many points as I can because I know other people are going to struggle, you know. As long as everybody can keep as close of a game to you as they can to their opponent as they can, like a team can win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of like the strategy is like everybody get at least close to your player and maybe a couple guys come through heavy. You know what I mean? I felt like I was trying to be the guy that came through like, hey, I'll give us the extra 20 points or whatever. So I just thought like my scoring was you know, just I understood like how to get my tactics, and I know a lot of people don't know how to do that. So especially in the teams, you know what I mean, where you all have to like not necessarily pick tactics that you like.
For sure.
You know?
That's the one aspect of the teams I don't like is that we have to like share a pool of tactics, and it might force you to take something you would otherwise not take. You know, I think at some point in the tournament, I heard Ben say, "Oh, there's intercept gonna fuck my game again," and I was just like, "Yeah, I get that. I feel that because yeah, a lot of my tactics situations I was locked out of. You know what I mean? Wrathful too is hard to get if you can't become underdog, and it does feel bad like when you can't score your tactics. You know, when you could otherwise score primary well but no secondary, it really hurts your game. But yeah, you know, going in every game, you just want to score well. You want to keep it close. And I felt like all of my games were really close, dude. I had a tie game. I had a game where I lost my one victory point. Like those, I was keeping it real tight, real close. And, you know, and I felt proud of myself and of my gameplay. And yeah, dude, every game felt unique, you know. We'll get into that now. Let's talk about how our games went.
I love that. Yeah, let's start breaking this down. I do want to say just before we do get into this is, bro, I'm super proud of you. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, there was a lot of moments I was stressing into all of this, like not just on you, or stressing on me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think I like you know I'm me, so I'm gonna like count on me.
Sure.
And you fucking bro, you came through. Like I don't know how you feel about your thing. Like the reason you were able, like, for me to do what I did, you had to do what you did.
For sure.
And just, I'm super proud of you. Just so you know, super proud of you. I feel like we were House of Hobbies Black team. That are really cool. We had like a really cool partners. Everyone was really nice. I think our roster breakdown was like really solid.
Yeah,
you know?
We had cool armies.
But I think me and you were kind of like the anchor in the scoring, and I think me and you kind of got our roles from that point, right?
Yeah. I feel like, with how close my games were, I was kind of like nullifying my games. I'm like, yeah, I was taking some losses here and there, but I'm keeping the score close. So I'm giving you guys a chance to, take us ahead or not. Whereas you were a really good show out and you were scoring so well that you could cover for some of us who weren't scoring so well. So
Yeah, I think no, exactly like you said though. But I think it's really like the teams format is really weird. And I
yeah,
think, to be perfectly honest, is like if you can't be the show out, be as close as you can be.
even
You know what I
after
mean? And
seeing the
like I think,
whole,
in my opinion, like dang man, you were you were as close as you could be every single time. I think
absolutely, I was
yeah,
like, this, there ain't no free lunch over here, boys. Like, come over here and try. But
yeah, yes. That's what it felt like. It was like, well, you could see the pairing game is fun because everyone, it's like when you can see they're like happy when they get their certain matchups,
yeah,
I
I'll
will
be
say
honest with you.
Ben did a great.
After
Go ahead.
seeing it twice, I still don't understand it. Like, I know we did it, we did it with Brennan and at the 3-man team, and then we did it with Ben, and Ben made us those lovely magic cards to represent each of our armies. And I still
Beautiful
just
cards. They're
don't get
sick.
it. I don't get the little like tic-tac-toe game you guys are playing. So usually my mindset is like, I'm just gonna be like okay with whatever they put me into, because I feel like as a Stormcast, I'm like, I'm just ready for whatever. Just drop me in. But like, yeah, I don't get it at all. I'm sure it makes perfect sense to like Zach and Colt and maybe even to you. I know I thought in the beginning maybe you should be the one, because you're just spending so much time analyzing this, bro, for our show, for our games. I was like, maybe Robert should be the one to do our pairings. And like when you're given a task, bro, you hyper fixate on it. And I could see if you were given the task of like our matchups, like you would hyper fixate it and try to guarantee we go into what we need to. But I'd be interested in a teams event to see where old Grizzler would put my Stormcast army into, and where he would send the old lightning arrows. But yeah, Ben, you did a
Funny?
fantastic job, bro, because you were playing that game. Shout out to Ben Flood. Like, you were playing that mini game like a pro. I didn't understand it one bit, so I never argued the scenario that you put me into. And thank you for being able to do something that I just can't comprehend yet. I'm just like, I do not have any interest at all in playing this stupid card game. Just tell me what army I have to fight, whatever it is. The Stormcast are ready.
I will say your army is like really set up for that. It's just so when you're doing the minigame, like you said, it's complicated, man. There's like there's a lot to consider. We're really lucky that Ben, like, we had like a real team meeting and we broke everything down and we talked it all out, and we all talked for hours, and we like spoke about matchups and we spoke about this. You can go there when we were there playing, you can see who didn't do that. There was a lot of people. It was fairly obvious they did not do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, putting themselves in bad situations, choosing poor matchups, kind of, as I would say, sending one of their teammates off to the wolves.
Well, sometimes that's valuable, but there's a lot of times it's like, hey man, there's like a better matchup for all of you guys. What are you doing?
Yeah, you never want to have 40 monster killers into a list with no monsters.
Yeah. So yeah, the tournament was like real crazy. It was a lot of fun. I thought the matchups and the pairings was a lot of fun. I know we were talking a little bit earlier about like how the pairing game works. It is really weird. So it seems a lot simpler when you plan ahead of time. You're like, oh, you could guarantee these pairings. And even then, when you're asking for like when you're trying to like do the matchups for the pairings, because we did, like I said, our little like a team meeting ahead of time, where we were like, oh, who's gonna do good into this, who's gonna do bad into this. I remember there was that question a lot of times. That was like the main thing I was asking ahead of time, was like, well, who do you feel confident into and who's not, like who's gonna score well on you.
Yeah, I
There's a
remember
lot.
that last game when we were like all planning on what army we wanted to go into and who we would defend with and who we wouldn't defend with. And we thought we knew like what everybody was going to choose. And then we all went into the matchups we were unexpecting. And we were like, the card game is so hard to like, nail just right when things don't go exactly as you think they will. So it's crazy. I think that the more we see the card game, the matchup card game is what we're talking about for our listeners. We'll begin to understand it. I would love to get like Zach on the show to break down the card game.
Agreed. Well, Zach,
Like,
I think this would be a great guest to have on the show just in general. He's so smart, bro.
Yeah,
And then especially at this game, like not only like is he smart at this game, he's just a super smart dude. Like just in general, very smart human being.
Yeah, so like one day we're gonna get him on here to talk about this card game, this pairing game. But again, I think that the old Grizzly here has a better understanding of it than I do. That's why when we're in the situation where he's like, "Who do you want to go into?" I'm like, "I trust you, bro. Just send me where you need me to, and I will give it my best shot."
You know what?
Maybe I read it too.
So before we went in, I saw, like especially after the list got like submitted and everybody applied, I already knew I asked everybody on the team, we had like our own little group Discord chat. So, well, let's give you guys all like a basic intro into like a teams tournament, right? This was like our first, me and Jesse. This is our first 5-man teams tournament.
Yeah.
5-man teams is quite a bit, right,
Yeah.
Jesse?
Yeah, you got to get to kind of know the other 4 armies to an extent to where where they'll be good matching into. And then you've got 5 personalities that all have to, mesh well together and get along. And then you've got, 5 play styles that could be vastly different. And then with those play styles, there might be disagreement or there might be, different perspectives. And we're just fortunate that we had such cool teammates. And I want to shout out Ben Flood and Bree and Johnny, like cool teammates with cool armies. Yeah. Everybody's armies are painted and based.
I want to shout out Zach because if it wasn't for Zach, I probably wouldn't have played. I'm not gonna lie. He kind of reached out and then he put me. He's like, Jesse's gonna play, and I was like, yeah. He's like, I mean, well, you haven't messaged me yet.
Okay. You saw earlier today in the Discord, I was like, I'll go if Robert goes. Like,
yeah. There's the prequel to Smite Club.
Well, I want to show people that this is a real team, and a team is more than one person. So if Robert is on the scene, if Grizzly's on the scene, and I'm able to, then Scarecrow, he's going to be there, armor gleaming. And I just think that Sylvaneth and Stormcast are such a natural like team. It's such a lore-wise, it's such a team up that happens all the time, and it's very common, and I just love it, bro. We're like the 2 mighty forces of order, and it feels good, bro. It feels good to be where we're at, dude. Like, I know I talked a lot of shit when going like about Scourge of Iran, but now that it's over, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna kind of miss it a little bit, dude. I'm gonna miss the familiarity.
Yeah, especially now. So like, they previewed all the we got some new war scrolls, we got some new rules.
The Ashy War Scrolls? Is that what we're calling them now? The Ashy War Scrolls?
Ashy, like
like Ashy Larry?
Like he needs some lotion. He needs some milk.
He needs lotion, chapstick, and sunscreen.
And some milk. But yeah, I think we're gonna do Ashy, right? It's Scourge of Akshi, which I wish they would have came up with a better name.
What about Aki? We could have it the Aki way.
Well, I just feel like they're just kind of lazy, bro, when they do a lot of shit that's like creative. It's just so lazy. Like, bro, you can't just keep recycling Horus Heresy. Like, stop it.
I just wish we could have. I thought, because remember we had made the comparison that Spearhead went from Fire and Jade to Sand and Bone. I was hoping we were going to Shaiish. I
thought that would be fun. Like, yeah, Shaiish. Literally anywhere.
Shaiish, I thought we were gonna go like to one of those shadowy dark dimensions. Now that we had already seen enough of Gairan, so It's just it's just like here we go back in Akshi again, and I get it. Dawnbringers and ba ba ba. It's a setting that they're familiar and comfortable in. It's like you said. It feels very just kind of like on the laurels. Like I'm not gonna shake things up. I would have loved to fucking get a storyline like in Shaiish. I would have loved to like go to Olgu and see what like the Shadow Coven and the Daughters of Cain are doing. Cool shit like this.
Yeah, 100% agreed. It's like I feel like just actually like, dude, like you guys have already been there. Why would you go back? And there's so many other choices. And I hear some people try to defend it, but they're like, well, as a writer, that's really hard. You're like, no, nobody's written about it. You can dictate everything right now.
And then if they merge all the realms and make it one world, then we're never gonna ever see these other realms.
Exactly.
We'll never see Chaman. Like we'll never see like these places. We'll never know what they're like. And yes. I just think it's bad because like they have access to these like stellar settings and they're not tapping into it. Instead of we're doing Akshi, we're just doing a flame setting. And I will say this though, the new objective markers for the GHB look pretty cool. The black and gold and red all looks really cool. I love seeing how much people are speculating already about the new GHB, but yeah, I'm gonna miss Scourge, bro. That was the last tournament with the GHB, bro. Let that sink in.
I know, I'm sad. I obviously I feel like I did really well, and that's because of the tactics. Yes. I was like, I'm very good at this, actually. Specifically, I'm very good at this.
Dude, Gyran was supposed to be the Sylvaneth season, bro.
And we got it. They gave me it for 2 months, but I got it.
And you were 7th overall at a grand tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, Scarecrow Poe saying it directly to you here. Our boy Grizzly, 7th overall in a competition pool that would give the most seasoned player the shivers, bro.
Yeah, I think they had Team USA there. Like a lot of those guys.
Yes, dude. There was strong competition. I was seeing crazy numbers. I saw that Aaron Elias had a perfect 80-point game to his opponent's like 9 points. Like there was devastation that you could not believe.
Yeah, there was some crushing defeats.
Yes. So though your boy, would have liked to get more than just the 2 wins that I got, I'm thankful for them. I'm happy for them. If you get just the 1, that's perfect. If you don't get any, that's okay too. Winning is not everything. Just play your game well. Make them remember your name. Make them remember your army and your tactics. Make sure that they remember that unit that took out their favorite shit. I feel like when you play my army, you'll remember those reclusions. You will remember when I chain activated off Lord Terminos. You'll remember when the Vanguard long strikes lit your ass up from 18 inches away. Like I feel like with your army, you'll remember those, when you charge those sides and never to do that again.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there was a couple games that we played this weekend, and then I was like, they're like, well, would you like? There's a lot of stuff. I was like, hey, just don't. I mean, I know I put the intercept token on these guys, but I wouldn't recommend running into them.
That's the cruel thing too, because some people they want to score all of their tactics, and you put it on those sides, bro. That's absolutely diabolical.
I put it on the sides, the swords, and Durthu. And then if you double turn me, I take it off of Durthu. So you just got to fight the sides or the swords.
That is horrible. Yeah. See, like you were in such. I mean, I feel like. Remember when we were doing the review of the leaks, we found some of those tactic cards that were similar to like scouting forces and stuff like that. I feel like we're going to find some that are naturally going to be good for you, dude. And with everything being so, hey, let's all fight in the middle of the map. Your Kurnoth army is going to be solid, bro. Solid.
Well, that you can't. So now in the new objective, the new GHB, you can't charge terrain. Guess whose army is based off 100% based off terrain?
Yours, brother. Yeah, dude. I used to always use your trees as a way to get in.
Now you can't use that anymore. No one can charge their terrain. You can like walk into it, I guess. Like you know what I mean? Like there's like those
You can
manifestations
move
you
into
don't
combat
move.
range. Yes.
Yes. So you can just
Mhm.
walk in and hit them. You know
That's
what I'm
cool.
gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna teleport my tree there. And I'm gonna drop my guy there. And I'm gonna just
Yeah,
hit your terrain without having to move into it. And then
that's
I
true.
can like, especially if I can go and get like I can get a pile in. Sick. I'm gonna drop here, pile in, hit you here again. Probably pop your terrain, especially if it's like Darthu or size or anything stupid. You know what I mean? And
For
then you
sure.
just move from there.
Yeah,
Um,
old Rick dropped in and took his enlightened on this right at my portaloo. He was like, "Oh, I know what this storm reach portal does." He's like, "I'm getting rid of this right away," and I was like, "But wait, that's
smart
part of
guy.
my strategy." He's like, "It's
Smart,
gotta
smart
go."
guy.
So I'll be
Smart
glad.
guy. Rick knew to do the right thing. Yes.
I'll be
Rick, you made the
glad
right choice. Blow that shit up right away.
because he didn't make the charge to the hero nearby, but he made the charge to the portal.
Oh, he
And
got
I was
into your
like,
portal,
yeah.
but not to you.
Yeah,
That's
and it
sucks.
sucked. So, and yeah, those it crushed the portal. I mean, they paid with it with their lives. I shot them down with the Vanguard long strikes, but it did suck to lose my portal. Like playing my entire game without the portal was crazy. I was just like, man, this portal survived every game up to this point. Like nobody except for Rick knew to take that portal out immediately. Like so,
Dude, Rick's a super smart guy, so that actually does not surprise me.
yeah, it
But you
doesn't
know,
surprise me.
while we've gotten into the topic, let's go ahead and start talking some games, man. Like
Sure.
it was wild. We played some. The roster itself was crazy.
Yes.
The game format was crazy when just playing the card game, and then just the people you're playing is insane. The skill level that we're playing with, especially when we're
Absolutely.
coming just like, bro, it's just usually me and you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when you go there and it's not just me and you, it's there's AJ, one of the top players in the country. There's Aaron,
Yep, they're in a line.
another, what is he, that top orcs player in the country.
For sure,
There's
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they had very solid teams, so it was insane. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
thought like the roster we played with was wild.
absolutely. Like if you go and you look at the lists in the BCP, you were seeing terrifying things. Remember, we were seeing the multiple Grand Hammer Annihilators with Trisha's list. We were seeing lists where, like I said, had 3 Hell Pit Abominations and 3 like Brood Terrors. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
Quite unpleasant. That sounds
quite
like.
unpleasant stuff. You know, the classic, the stuff that has been giving people headaches and nightmares all edition. The Vanguard, the Varangard lists, the Baleful Lords list. You know what I'm saying? The eels, the goddamn eels. They were there, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? The rot swords, everything you can think of, Rodigus, things that you don't want to deal with. Everybody had them, bro. So
Yeah. Yes. So when
And you
you're
know
like
what?
trying to like look at the list, you're like trying to compare. You're like, well, normally I can do well into these guys, and then you see their build, and you're like, nope, not with that list. I can't. I'm
Yeah.
not good at that.
Yeah, some of the lists look just absolutely terrifying to play, bro. You know, and then some of the lists just look so cool. You know, like I saw a fellow Stormcast player. Shout out to Ramsey, and he had like 3 units of reinforced like Vanguard Paladors, and they're all painted like colorful, you know, as birds should be. And I was just like, what a beautiful army that it's just like all birds. And I saw some Aether Wings too, and I'm just like, everything is a bird. Like I can't help but love this army, whether it's competitive or not. You know, whether this thing is going to destroy you in one charge phase or not. I just think the idea of it is cool. Like it's just so
Yeah.
cool. All of those
No,
birds.
Ramsey's the man. He's awesome. Super cool dude. And yeah, like he's the bird man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And from one bird to another, like I can appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, I like his list. Yeah, you're right. It's his Paladors are all like, it's like a really bright red, a really bright blue.
Yeah.
Super cool list. But let's start talking some of our matchups. We got matched into There was obviously all the teams there were pretty solid, right?
Yes,
I think we were definitely on the underdogs of the list,
for
right?
sure. Yeah,
When we look at all the teams.
yeah, low guys on the
Um,
totem pole.
yeah, we definitely were. There was 4 House of Hobbies teams, and then I believe 4 other teams. There were, I mean, Blame Colt was mostly House of Hobbies. The rest of the other teams were from out of state. The real big goal of like all of this whole tournament is to bring, the best to the Southwest. That's like the goal. We're trying to make this baby pop. Like we want everybody here. And you know what? We got a great turnout and a great show out for the tournament that we got, especially for, it's like we're in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the heat. You, like you said, you're like, bro, are we playing in a barn?
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It definitely feels
But
like you're playing in the Old West, like when you play at the Green Banner event. Just at Westworld, it did feel kind of very westerny, and I can appreciate that. And like I said, the games were so fun and unique. And let's start about after the bye round, we get into round 2. It's our first real game, and do you remember your opponent?
my first game I played into Cities of Sigmar. Who did you play into?
I believe that's when was that East County Heretics that we played in round 2?
I feel like it was actually. I think it was.
Yeah, so in round 2 it was East County Heretics, and that's when I played Big Mike, and it was the Baleful Lords for Bloodthirsters and Scarbrand.
You're correct.
Yep, and so
that was a crazy matchup. That team is really sick.
So I want to shout out their captain, Dominic.
Dominic,
that I played at
Dominic
at the last GT. It was our first one, the Smite Club GT, the benefit at the elementary school. So I had played Dominic there, and he had crushed me. And yeah, and and that was my first time playing Gargants when I was a fresh baby face GT player. And he crushed me, but he was such a cool person and such an awesome personality. And our game was so quick that we just had a lot of time to just bullshit and get to know each other. And I saw him there, and he instantly came up to me. He's like, "Hey, we played," and I was like, "Yeah." And it was good to see him, and he greeted my girlfriend and remembered my girlfriend. And yeah, shout out to Dominic, shout out to Big Mike, and the rest of East County Heretics. What a cool team from California. I really like those guys. They are just a cool collective, a cool vibe. I think one of their players, their Sylvaneth player, won the hobby award because he had beautifully painted Sylvaneth.
He sure did. I loved talking to that guy.
Yeah, you guys look like you had a lot in common as far as army style, army units. You guys were both a chill vibe. I got a chance to speak with him, and yeah, East County Heretics are just an amazing team, and shout outs to them. But yeah, I played that Baleful Lords list, bro, and Bloodthirsters, when they come off the charge and they're into you, it is one of the most scary experiences you can have in Age of Sigmar. And I'm telling my listeners this. There's a reason that people have been using that list the entire edition. There's a reason people are still using that list, and they're going to continue to use that list because it is scary, it is quick, and if you are not lucky or make perfect decisions, you will be punished. Your boy was lucky. Our boy Big Mike failed the 3-inch charge by rolling 2 1s with one of his Bloodthirsters. I honestly think, Big Mike, if you're listening, that if you get that third Bloodthirster in the way you intended, I didn't have an army to fight back with. So, it is a dice game, and sometimes the dice decide the game. And I think when he rolled 2 1s and he didn't have the CP to re-roll it, it decided the game. Because you never want your Bloodthirsters just standing out in the open and all of my shooting's about to activate. It is a horrible thing because he double turned me thinking I'm going to get all these Bloodthirsters in, and then just got 2 of them in. And let me tell you, 2 Bloodthirsters will eat through a big chunk of your army. 2 Bloodthirsters is as scary as it sounds. And I'm thankful that I got out of that one with a win. You know, I don't think I killed every Bloodthirster, but I killed like 3 or 4 of them, bro. Like he had 1 or 2 left, and it wasn't enough to score effectively against what I had and my ability to move around and teleport. And yeah, it felt good to get that game win, an authentic win, not just one granted by the bye, but an authentic win against a very skilled player, Big Mike. You play your corn beautifully, and as a aspiring corn player, you know, I'd love to pick your brain. And yeah, just you lucky bastard having all those Bloodthirsters to just tote around and flex on people. Like, imagine what it feels like just setting that up. Like, oh, it's just 5 Bloodthirsters in Scarbrand, no biggie.
You just drop down your first deployment. They're like, okay, you're attacker, you deploy first. You're like, deployed. That's my first drop.
You'll always remember a real
Bloodthirster.
You'll always remember a real big scary moment in any of your games, and I'll shout out this one like that I didn't know. So I tried to shoot down Scarbrand immediately. You know, he's the only Bloodthirster that won't recur. Because I don't know if you know this about the Baleful Lords list, but they can bring back a Bloodthirster every movement phase.
Yep.
And
they roll a dice right per movement phase or whatever.
Yes, and then if they hit the roll, like they can bring back a whole Bloodthirster. But it has to be on a border edge. Okay, so he was doing this, but that kind of like that border edge, that 7 inches of the border edge kind of made it so he couldn't score effectively. But yeah, it's scary, dude. So I try to take down Scarbrand right away. I do 14 damage to him, and it's just not enough. He comes in on the charge, and he has an ability that however much damage he is on, that's how many dice he'll roll. So he rolled 14.
Oh, shit. Really?
And every 4 up did a mortal. And when this happened to me, it shocked me. Like, it killed 3 shield annihilators on mortals alone. And I just was like, oh my God, this is terrifying as all hell.
Especially 3 shield annihilators. That's crazy.
Yeah, 3 shield annihilators, poof, gone. And it terrified me, bro. I was like, holy fuck, what am I getting myself into? So yeah, very, very, very close game. I was able to, like I said, once I was able to take down enough Bloodthirsters, I was able to kind of just play keep away and score, and that's when I kind of ran away with the lead, and I ended that game, my true win, 67-33, bro. Like just a decisive major victory for the Stormcast Eternals, bro. So that was what I was going to the tournament to feel. I was able to feel it, that that I can face a scary situation and come out on top with a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and a lot of determination. Your boy he improved to 2-0 going into that third round, so it felt pretty good. But yeah, tell me about what it was like to play your opponent from East County Heretics.
My game was a lot of fun. I feel terrible. I forget his name, but he was Cities of Sigmar.
Okay.
I have like a little bit of experience with Cities of Sigmar. I do know it is like one of those like more complicated armies.
Sure.
I'll be honest, there's a lot of armies when I see like they have so many rules when it's like, I'm not going to comprehend that. You'll explain it to me as you go. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay, cool. Cities is one of those armies. I do know Sylvaneth as like a whole, as like an army, is it's a grindy army itself. If you're going to play against Sylvaneth, just like a forewarning, if you think it's going to be quick, it's not if they're any good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like none of my games when me and you play, like they're not quick games. Like
yeah.
When I play in the tournament, I remember I played my last player. I played Joel, and I was like, oh yeah, nice. Like, have your games been quick or short? Like, because certain factions will like give you a quicker or shorter outcome.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, oh, how's yours been? He's like, oh, they've been all long. I was like, oh, we're gonna have another long one. I just pre-warned him, and I was like, this is gonna be a long matchup. But my first opponent was, I forget his name. Like I said, Cities of Sigmar. He had Talia. He had the Gate Gargants. Gate
Wow.
Gargants, super good by the way.
Oh yeah.
I know you didn't match up into them, but they're crazy good. I believe each one has a shot. Each one has 5 control, so for a total of 2 or 10. And then I think they also give a control bonus. Plus, there's also 2 units on the top of them that shoot. I think the shoot is like 10 inches, but it's like quite a bit of damage. I think each attack physically does, it's like 4s and 2s, maybe 3 damage. I want to
Wow.
say might be 4, so they smack super hard. They're really, really, really good.
Yeah, I saw that like several lists had the 2 Gate Gargants in the list, so I was like, yeah, everybody's rocking this, so it must be fire. I don't know, I'm like you, I don't know much about Cities of Sigmar or like what their army does or what they're about. I just know that those sick models that we looked at in those previews, they're getting used. So they're more than just looks. They're more than just what's the new hot shit. Like they've got to have a lot of battlefield
I will
value.
give one person a shout out. I'll give Griffin, a shout out. Everybody else, there was a couple cities list. He actually scored the highest in the tournament with his cities list, and he was not running the same list. I'll commend him on this. He was not running the same list as everybody else.
Right? Yeah, Griffin has that nasty 3 cannon list.
Yeah, and everybody else was running like kind of. I think everybody was exactly the same list.
Yeah, I think so. They like was the 2 Gate Gargants and then like the
Talia Vedra,
and
a lot of the horses, the horse hero.
Horse Hero guy, yeah. Was Pontifex Sinestra in those lists?
No Zenestra in any of the lists that I played.
Sinestra. Okay.
It was mainly just like a lot of horses.
Yeah, and
they were really good.
I know Griffin's army has a lot of horses too, and it just seems like the horses in Sigmar or in Cities of Sigmar are a must take right now. Everyone has that freaking big block of horses on armor.
Yeah, their cavalry slaps really hard. I think it's a 3-up save. You can give them a 5-up board if you put them on the orders. You can have them charge in the charge phase in your opponent's charge phase.
Wow.
For if they didn't charge.
Wow.
You can just roll 2 dice and charge out, which is crazy in my opinion.
Yeah. But okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah. When I think of Cities of Sigmar, I think of Griffin because that's a guy who's always like playing competitively with Cities of Sigmar. I see him getting the practice games in on Friday at Gamers Guild with Cities of Sigmar. Like, yeah, I was like, I know that he probably plays other armies, but yeah, that's who I think of when I think of Cities of Sigmar in our local scene. Like Griffin seems to be the expert.
Yeah, no, he definitely knows. He's just like a really smart player, just in general. You know what I mean? He when he's playing, he takes his time to know like his rules.
Sure.
I'll give him that.
But you were able to vanquish the cities list that you went into, even though they had the Cavaliers and
correct. He did have Cavalier.
Did you bring down the Gate Gargants?
I did in the first game, and I think I did at the second game at the very end. Yeah, I don't remember. No, the second game I did not. The first game I did.
So would you say they're pretty stalwart? Like, I mean, you see that giant shield that's a door. Door.
Yep. Door. Exactly.
I was like, I imagine they like save on a 2-up or whatever.
I think they save on a 3, but even then, the 3 is pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of armor.
When I fought them, they hit really hard. They give I think they can give a unit just +2 to charging.
Okay.
Which I mean,
you're gonna do that with those horses if you can do it in your opponent's phase. So,
yep.
Yeah, it just sounds like a nice little compliment to the Cavaliers. So yeah, I mean, what's your key for like taking that kind of thing down? I feel like for you, it's those Kurnoth with scythes, bro.
I think. Okay, so I mean that's kind of one of my key units always. I want to say the big thing thinking of one, especially when we're going into these types of tournaments, is not so much of like what's the key unit, as so much as I need to outlast his stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So in the very beginning, I just like yeet them in like dryads and spy
Sure.
revenants. And it's one of those like, cool
We're
man. Yeah,
Dryad still MVP.
oh yeah, yeah. Tournament MVP for 100%. Like it's one of those
Yeah,
you can see people get like frustrated and they're like, "Was that always?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, only if you swing into the dryads." And then you can see like their choices to swing into, and it's like, ugh, I'm not swinging to the dryads. It's like, okay, cool. -1 to hit, -1 to wound.
it's rough, dude. It's rough. Yeah, and then there's like what 10 of them.
Yeah, it is 10 of them. That's why I've been thinking about like reinforcing them. There's a lot of like different list works, but for now I ran the 2 units of 10 and they worked out really well.
Yeah.
I liked them a lot. Like I said, they're just a lot to kind of deal with, especially to like soak up damage for units that are like maybe they're not the like hardest hitters, but they're like mid-range hitters that'll knock out, 7 and 8 HP heroes.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Well, it's like, okay, if you're into unit dryads, like that guy who could like one shot maybe the Arch Revenant is now dealing with dryads for 3 turns. And at that point it's one of those like bare minimum I'm just gathering value on you, I guess. I could see when I played the cities guy, the first guy, I just think I had maybe better tactics. I don't even remember his tactics. I just remember scoring mine pretty consistently. That was the one thing how I built my list. It's the tournament list that I ran before, and I feel fairly consistent with this list.
That's good. That's good. So yeah. So you're able to. So if it sounds like you've got cities figured out, and then you were able to beat them twice in a GT setting. Like, it sounds like that's a pretty good matchup for you going into it.
What's crazy because when we like signed up to go into it, like I was like doing like a pairing setup, like thing, and I did not feel confident going into cities.
Yeah.
Then, the first 2 games, like we said, I got paired into cities, and then I beat them both. Especially so, the first team was East Coast Heretics. Awesome, super awesome team, super awesome guys. All of these guys are very pleasant to play. We also played, I think there's some team from Colorado. What are their
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's
too. I forget. They had jerseys. It was cool. Their jerseys are cool.
Yeah,
they had a coach there. The coach seemed like a swell fella.
Yeah, I think I saw him. I think I saw him like meandering about. You know what I mean, in casual wear, but
exactly. Yeah, he didn't seem like he
wasn't wearing like a team jersey or anything. He was just kind of just there present.
Yeah, no, he seemed like maybe distracted. He was busy, focused. He wasn't talking to nobody. But yeah, they were. That was their cities player. Their team was really good. You could see they like put in a bunch of time and effort into like training and getting ready for that. How was your game into those guys? What were the lame?
So that was
Llama boys.
Yeah, the Llama boys. The Llama boys had. It was my first time ever playing into that Taliban and Nurgle list, right? So.
Oh yeah, rough.
It was tough, dude. And then the terrain was like these 2 giant walls that like forced us into this bottleneck into the middle of the map. And yeah, it's I'm very proud of myself for how I did against them. That's my game that came down to a tie. We were both 40-40. But I wasn't, because I was kind of like doing well early on, I was never the underdog, which kind of like locked me out of like my tactics. And it put him in a lot of positions to where like he could use the underdog mechanic advantageous to him to achieve his tactics. So even though I forced my opponent to have a 0-point turn and the game came down 40-40, he had to accomplish 2 tactics. So they gave him the minor victory over me. But hey, for a team that was as seasoned as they were and had their, coach right there table side to give them advice. And he even like stopped to take a timeout and consult with his captain because I was making such good decisions on the board. And it made me proud to be like, okay, yeah, I'm here to show you that I'm competitive as well. And so I took my tie loss and and now I know what to do against Nurgle. And I don't know if maybe Stormcast is good against them or not, because I can be so dispersed. I don't have to be right next to everything. But
Yeah.
I think
Well,
given a
that
second
gets
chance,
sucked up into his ear.
yeah, I think given a second chance, I'm doing a lot better into Nurgle, and I don't think that list is as scary as maybe like it's been hyped out to be. You
I
can
think me
definitely
and you
deal
are
with
just
it.
kind of built very well against into Nurgle, like me and you specifically. I
Sure,
do
yeah.
think it is. I do think it is. It's a scary list, but I think for like Stormcast and Sylvaneth, we'll be fine.
That it didn't have like a Great Unclean One or Rodigus or a Glotkin. Like it didn't
Yeah.
have any of that stuff. That's the stuff I'm really, really scared of. But yeah, 40 Rot Swords is it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's not even worth trying to remove it unless you just have an exponential amount of damage on deck. It's I get it. It's a tar pit, you know what I mean? And then you put it next to a bunch of pox wretches. That's also a tar pit. And I get it. You're supposed to outlast your opponent. In that game, my opponent pulled out the chess clock, and they could theoretically have, clocked me out because, I'm not very experienced with chess clocks yet. And he did a lot of, stopping my time to keep me in the game. And I appreciate him for that. And, but yeah, it was an intense game, and I'm glad that I was able to keep up with some of Colorado's finest players. And yeah, I can't wait to get my shot in the future to prove that Team Reckless, bro, is one of the finest teams to compete in these team tournaments, bro. And they're gonna remember the name Team Reckless.
That's right.
So it was a good way to end the third day. At this point, bro, we had been in that barn all day. Drinks for $12.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
it was hard to stay hydrated. I didn't come entirely prepared. My partner in crime, Allie, was busy tending to my family and my mom. So it was like we just have to endure. But yeah, being on that chess clock, being in that hot environment, it was a rough kind of like third game, and I was like relieved to be like, oh, thank God, I'm just going over to lay down in the hotel, but a mile away from the venue, and
Yeah. I'll say so I drove home from I drove home from that game, and my house was like, I think like 35 minutes from the venue approximately.
yeah,
And it's not like it's the worst drive,
for
but
sure.
man, it's a long drive, especially after
the day just wore you out.
After 2 long Warhammer Age of Sigmar games.
Back to back.
That's a real long part.
Because we had that first round bye, and then it went right into lunch, so it was just this long 4.5-hour lull before a 6-hour plunge into just playing. What I would say is probably our most competitive matches was like it's a tie between, that one where we had to play the Llama Boys, and I would say when we had to play John Rick's team. I don't know about the whole John Wick theme, but I like John Rick. John Rick was my favorite part of that team. I was like, John Rick gets my vote because John Rick just took me out, bro. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, John. Because John, if you guys know Rick, he's like the nicest guy ever. So like the idea that he's this brutal killer just made me laugh. So yeah, John
don't
Rick,
kill a dog. You'll be
John
fucked.
Rick was just amazing. So and it was just funny that we got to play him. So day 2, dude, it was so chill. I don't know about your day 2, but my day 2 was so chill. It started playing with Eric R, and it ended playing with Rick, with freaking John Rick.
What's funny is my day 2 started with I played Erica, who was on the last episode, and then
Joel. Oh my god! So
next game.
So first we have him on our podcast, then they got to play you competitively, and then they found out that this is a very competitive person to play, didn't they, Hill Grizzler?
No, they sure did. I think I think I showed them what the Sylvaneth can do a little bit.
Yeah,
both games were a blast.
I know that that Varangard list is terrifying, and Reinforced Chosen is something no one should ever, discount. But your list is uniquely designed to kind of break against an army that throws all of its damage at you. So,
I mean, kind of. To me, it was one of those, like, I never really, like, dealt with this problem too often before. I've got a couple of, like, practice games against Zach with his Vanguard, but I think it's the Vanguard Slaves, like, chosen list is it's a problem, man. It's really like a puzzle to solve. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's any way to make it bad. Like, if there's a reason it keeps getting taken at all these competitive scenes, because it's just so much value. It's like you're like either going to win really fast or lose really fast, but either way, like, it's going to be fast, it's going to be violent. And I got to imagine when you score like all those hits and do all that damage, it just feels exhilarating.
I bet as you're lifting models off the table, you're like, this is a blast.
For sure, bro. But yeah, but just for you to, how did that, didn't you score crazy good in that game?
Yeah, so I learned that trick with slaves is like you really got to brace yourself for that first hit.
For sure.
If you can outlive that first hit, like, you can maybe do okay.
Yeah. But there's no stopping that first hit, right? Like, that uppercut's coming.
It's coming. There's no stopping it. It's just trying to take it most strategically, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I just sent to my Dryads and I sent to my Spite Revenants. And I was like, have fun killing this, because this is nothing.
You're like, I'm going to lose every battle line unit this fucking turn. But after they all die, after the dust settles.
Yeah, I didn't get I think I lost quite a few. I'd used my my Gossmans a lot this tournament, like a ton this tournament. I can see it's one of those, like, people are like, why are you running these? I'm like, oh, you'll see. These guys are, they're like, oh, do they hurt? I'm like, nope. They do a lot. That's their job, is just to do.
Did you do the Arch Revenant combo with them a lot?
Yeah, I did.
I love that.
I'm
so happy you brought that. Yeah, that is such a good combo.
I think it's so much fun. And I think in this new GHB, like, this build is actually, like, promoted. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get benefits for this.
I was playing in my game with Eric R, right? And
okay, let's hear it.
He had the Gargants list that everybody wants to play secretly, right?
Yeah.
It's King Broad, a Gatecrusher Gargant, and then like 2 Mega Gargants, right? And that's the list. It's it's a big smash. And I know I gave Eric R a big scare when I removed one of his Gargants turn 1 and then turn 2 another one. And there was a point where we were deadlocked 40-40, and I was like, "Hey, we could just call it a tie there." And then he was like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm good with that." Because it was a stressful situation, but I was like, "No, we'll play it out," because I could see a victory for him if he could, just get the double turn and spike with the Gargants, and he did, and he was able to effectively win with the Gargants. And I'm super proud of you, Eric R. If you're listening to this, like, shout outs to you. This is a guy who I told you before drives from Queen fucking Creek, Arizona, so it's somewhere very, very fucking far away. And he comes all the way to Gamers Guild. He came all the way to Westworld. Like, he's coming very far to play some Age of Sigmar. So I appreciate you, Eric R, bro. And I loved your Gargants, bro. I love your KO. I think your armies are cool. It's just so hard to not be cool with Gargants, right? Like, you have massive models that do 5 damage on their swings. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is there not to like? What is there not to enjoy? So yeah, shouts out to Eric R and Gargants and all Gargant players. Like, it's a fun army. It's a little bit one-dimensional. And Eric R told me, he's like, when you're gonna play 5 games, you gotta he's like, you want to unplug your brain. He's like, you can just run some Gargants, man. And
I think he's right.
The game plan is the same every time. And he's like, and I know he had told me there'd been some crushing defeats up to that point. This is the 4th game in the tournament. So, he didn't get his bye early, and he had to fight some tough teams. And Yeah, Eric R, keep with it, bro. You're a good player, and you were a
Shout
fun
out Eric,
opponent.
man. He ended up taking that one at the very end, huh?
Oh yeah, like after that double turn, bro. Like I didn't have enough units to score effectively, and
Just
he
so you
ended
know,
up
that's the
taking.
secret if you run Gargants is you try to double turn.
Oh
Let
yeah, yeah.
let your opponent go first. That's
Don't.
one thing
Yeah.
Jesse will learn eventually is let
Yes.
your opponent go
Eventually, I
first.
will learn to pass priority and let them go first. But
God damn it, Scarecrow. That was in the bag.
I know, I know. Typically that's supposed to be a good matchup for me. And like I said, I effectively removed like half of his fucking like 1,000 points like in 2 turns, and there was a point where he was like, "Oh, I don't know if I got this," but I believed in him, and I'm glad he pulled through and got the win. And it was just a lot of fun. When you play Gargants, it's fun because it's like when you take one down, you really feel like David and Goliath. He's like, you took it down to the wound, and I was like, 36 wounds to the wound. Can you believe it?
You said, "Oh no,
Yeah,
that's the
so like
worst."
if you got a friend who plays Gargants or you have a chance to play Gargants, dude, I know it's like you haven't got to play Gargants yet. I've played
I've
them now.
not.
I've
I
played
wanted
them
to.
now. I played them twice. I played them with Dominic and I played them with Eric R. They were both at the tournament, dude. So it's like I was never gonna duck them. But yeah, Gargants, they're scary. Like give yourself the thrill of a lifestyle. Like the thrill of a lifetime. Face 4 Gargants and Broad.
Yeah.
If Sigmar hasn't been exciting for you, play against a Gargant list or play as a Gargant list. You know what I mean? As a Gargant list doesn't sound too bad either.
You're gonna have a fun time.
But yeah, let's go into our game 5 then, our very last game of the freaking tournament.
What was your last game? I played City Slaves. You played what was
I
your first
played
game?
Zeech.
Oh, you played Zinch last game.
Yeah,
Oh, and my
that was
last game
John
was
Rick.
Mr. Joel. Yeah, we played Team John Wick. A House
Yeah,
of Hobbies Purple,
I think it was
maybe?
purple. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You were playing what, Corn, and I was playing Zine. So chaos round, bro. Order versus chaos.
It was 100% Order versus Chaos, which was very cool. Yeah, you got matched up into Rick. Rick, like the Lord of Change himself predicted that game was happening earlier this week.
Yeah, like a Lord of Change himself. He had one foot in the future, one in the past. He said, I'm going to play Jesse later on, so I better get some practice in. But you know what? And I think Rick would attest to this. I think that practice helped me because I did much better this time than I did during our practice round. He was only able to beat me by one mere victory point, but the Lord of Change knew that he only needed just one to get the job done. So congratulations, Rick, man. What a close game. 44-43. You can't get more Zinchi than that, bro. I would have won by 5 points taking down one of his heroes, but he can spend those fate points and take some of that damage away. And it's like I said, the Lord of Change knew that he was going to win by that 1 point. So, yeah, Rick, if you haven't got a chance to play Zinch, and I feel like they don't get as much representation as like Slaves or Corn gets, you know what I mean, or Nurgle. Like,
Agreed.
I feel like Zinch is kind of like, the dorky little brother of the freaking Chaos Pantheon, and nobody wants to play with the dorky little brother. But Rick and his conversions and the paint schemes and the bases and the manifestations, it all looks so Zinchy. You know what I'm saying? It looks like the Lord of Change has decided that I want this way, and so it will be. And so if there is a representative in our local scene here in Arizona for Zinch, I'm giving it to Rick, because that's who I think of when I think of Zinch. I think of Rick and his swippy swappy mechanic. I think of Rick and those Zangor enlightened on discs that are built off of like chosen bodies. I think of those those little blue horrors that split off into little green horrors. Like, he just has such cool units and such cool mechanics, and he makes Zinch cool. He makes the dorky little stepbrother of the Chaos Pantheon cool. I never once thought I'd be like, I would play Zinch, but after playing Rick a few times, I'm like, I definitely would play Zinch. They are a cool army, and the Fate dice mechanic just seems like so much fun. So yeah, shouts out to Rick. Shouts out to closing out the tournament with an awesome game against an awesome opponent with an awesome army. You know, I learned a lot about Zinch's limitations and some of the exploit ways you can get into them. And I learned you really have to pay attention with them. You know, you have to make sure you're swippy swapping the right thing at the right time. I remember at one point Rick said, "Oh man, I should have swapped those out instead of this." He's like, "Oh, but it's too late. I'll deal with it." I was like, "Oh, like a true Lord of Change. You're like, there is no going back. You already knew this would happen."
He'll figure it out. Yeah.
He'll figure it out. So yeah, what a way to end the tournament, dude. None of my games were that stressful. Everything was close. Everything was fun. I'm definitely going to do it again. You know, given the same circumstance, same setting, same people, I would do it all over again.
I agree. I'm with you on that. I had a great game 5. I played against Joel. You know, Joel obviously is the man. I played, you know, like I said, I played Erica and I played him like one after another, which is wild.
You played the House of Hobby founders right after we interviewed them, bro.
Yeah, very very sick how Fate like just kind of like led us to each other, which was funny because when we did like the pairings, you know, especially for like the last game, for the third game, I was like, or the fourth game, I was like, oh, I think, you know, I could do okay in the slaves. Maybe it's just like a big problem to solve, and I'm not always sure of how to solve it, you know.
Sure.
Same with like fifth round was Joel, and Joel had his corn, and his corn is like it's just, man, it's a problem, bro. It's like there's so many ways that turn you off. He's a really good player too, obviously. He's highly competitive. You can see Joel's playing to win, but he's also like very fun to play with. He's chilling. I mean, he's having a good time. His list consisted of like all those what is those 2-up save cavalry, like the Skull Crushers?
Oh yeah, the Skull Crushers. They got the mortals on the rhino thingies.
Yes. So
the Mighty Skull Crushers, that's what they're called. Mighty Skull.
That's exactly. So he had a bunch of those. I want to say he had like a reinforced unit and then like another unit, and they were just moving around doing stuff. He also had that Hellsmiths of Hashut Regiment of Renown, which if you run monsters, fuck that regiment. Like,
yeah, I know it's specifically meant to shoot down and weaken your monsters, and it can do tremendous damage to those to monsters who can't be obscured and can't get benefits of cover. So yeah, I feel like people bring that Hellsmith of Hashut Regiment of Renown more than any other regiment of renown in armies.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta like say you're trying to move in with like a monster and they have that. You gotta what would you say, like drop in like another unit ahead of them, so if they counter shoot you, you know.
Yeah,
so that unit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is
no bueno, bro.
Yeah,
but you were able to manage and deal with all of those rhinos, or what was the outcome here?
You know, so we played for a long time. I'd even told Joel, I was like, "Oh, how's your games been?" And he was like, "Yeah, they've been pretty long." And I was like, "Oh, get ready for another long one." So
you ain't seen nothing yet.
We both laughed at that and then proceeded to time out.
Wow.
Yeah. We had to talk out like it was the last 2 turns, so it's one of those things like it sucks because like when you're trying to speed hammer things, you know, it's really hard to say what would happen.
Yeah, you can't really account for every variable because there's so much counterplay in Age of Sigmar. You could say, I would do this, or this, or that. And I'm like, okay, well, what would I do during your hero phase, during your shooting phase, during, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many counter charges.
Well, there's a lot of things you're not accounting for. Exactly.
For sure. There's a lot of gameplay elements.
What you're trying to do at the end is like talk out what you can score. And then your opponent's also like a little bit trying to talk out what they can cancel, but at the same time, like they don't know you're trying to score that until you start doing it, which is also another thing to kind of argue for, so just like try to argue for what you can score and what like seems realistic. That's what, in my opinion.
And
right?
that's where I can advocate for the chess clock as a person who's been under the gun before, where it's like, I see why people have this, because if we have 3 hours to get this game done, I want my due time to work out my game plan.
Agreed. I will say though, if you are going to be a player who brings the chess clock, that means like you're probably relatively adept, right? Like you're used to playing under a time constraint. You're used to making good decisions quickly. Just be consistent. Like if you bring a chess clock, like those same chess clock rules that you're applying to your opponent also apply to you.
Yeah, so if they begin to backfire, you can't back out of it. You can't like be like, oh, now I don't want to use the chess clock. I'm down to 4 minutes. You got to be like, nope, you decided to put that out there, see it all the way through. I get you entirely, brother. It's like when we've had this discussion too. It's like, are we going to roll into the tray or are we going to roll onto the mat? Like, let's
100%. That's exactly what it feels like. So it's just like, don't pull this out and then be like, oh, well, this is like this, and also be hyper competitive. And then like when you start to see like the consequences of your like slow decision making and or whatever, you can't just be like, oh, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between a slanted dice and a cocked dice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There's arguments that I think that every Warhammer player has had, or at least dealt with. But it's tough. I can see it when things time out in that situation, like you were saying, how I would feel a little bit robbed of like my strategy and my game plan. I'm like, well, who decides how things are talked out? Who decides how the game would have theoretically played out? Like, that's not fair. That's basing an entire like scoring system off of an assumption, and that I do not like. But 3 hours is 3 hours, bro. And if you're in the tournament setting, you have to be efficient. You have to be fast. You have to be courteous. I felt bad because with my game against Rick, I had to use the bathroom like right at the beginning of it, and he was like, oh man, like you're really right when we're about to start. I'm like, I don't know, nature calls when it calls. So I was like, but I was like able to take a quick break, and thankfully Rick didn't have me under the clock right there, or else I would have been there power pissing. I would have been there squeezing a stream, but another one in the books for Team Reckless, bro. I'm so happy you were there with me, dude. I don't think I'm doing this stuff without you. You inspire me. You keep me motivated. You help me so much, dude. I can't wait to learn this new GHB with you. I can't wait till we prepare for the next tournament. I know we were going to leave our home armies behind, but we can't, bro.
It sounds so difficult now.
It sounds so difficult because it's like, this is the armor I wanted to wear for battle. I don't want to suit up in something else. Like, as much as I want to make a pivot, I'm like, I still have a few more Stormcast units that need to see the light of day. They haven't exactly had enough sunshine.
So I finally started the basing on my Carnosaur.
Let's go.
We're trying something, at least to start. Like I said, it needs to be battle ready before it plays.
I think after you going 7th overall with your Sylvaneth, that they're not going on the shelf for a long time, bro. And until I'm tired of fighting Sylvaneth, I'm sure that I will have to continue to fight Sylvaneth. And I'm here for it. I will help make sure that they are some of the scariest competition that our opponents have to face. I know that our games made you a stronger player. I know that all those times we were in the Reckless room and you were like, I'm going to do this. And I went to you and I go, why? And you were like, well, I was going to do this. And I'm like, well, what does that purpose serve? And you're like, oh, okay. And every time that I was like, I'm going to play this unit. And you're like, no, put that stupid chariot away. What the hell's the matter with you? I'm like, oh, Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let me put some more Vanguard units in. You're like, now we're
Yeah,
talking.
there
So
you go. I
you are,
remember like when you were like signing up with your tournament and you're like seeing a chariot, and I was like, well, I mean, like, what do you do? Like, why are you doing that?
you're like, get this fucking chariot out of here. And then I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot Vanguards can be hurricanes. So
Yeah, it's
much
one of those
better.
like it doesn't need to be like it's just I didn't want to say necessarily get rid of the chariot. It's just like what is he doing? But like, like you know, like, I just
I was
don't
like, I
get
had
it.
110 points. I couldn't figure out what to do with.
That's what you told me. You're like, I have 110 points. I'm like, I think there's just a better like liberator, so anything, bro. Like,
Yeah, sometimes you just look at a model on the shelf, you want to put it on the table, you get a wild hair up your ass, but that's
oh,
a GT is
I
not
actually
the setting for that.
I agree. I love that though. I feel the same way. Like I just buy certain models. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna play them. They're like, that's
That's the thing.
trash. I'm like, I know, but mine looks beautiful.
You're like, I just got to see it on the tabletop. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've already started working on my next list, bro. I've already started looking at what Akshi's going to bring for us, starting to, maybe go back and look at the leaks we looked at. But here we are, less than a week away from the next GHB. The next time our listeners tune in, they're going to hear more about, our perspective and what we think and our light review on the GHB, the Scourge of Akshi. So let's get it, bro. The season for 2026 going into 2027 is dawning, and we're right here at the cusp of it.
Well, we're right here, man. I think that's a great place to wrap things up. That's our Heroes Cup recap. You know what? Big thanks to Green Banner, man. Everything was more than it could be. I was very excited. I thought everything was great. Big shout out House of Hobbies. Big shout out Joel. You guys are fucking super dope for like getting all together. I also want to give a big shout out to John, man. My boy was working this week. He was hustling. There was so many times I seen him just bro, table, and it's like it was insane.
Yeah, he was in a lot of judging situations. Yeah, he was in a lot of tournament organizing situations. Shout out to John from House of Hobbies, brother. Your work was recognized and does not go unnoticed. We are appreciative.
Yeah, no. So I was super thankful. I spent a lot of time just like chatting with him during like our buy round and like our breaks. Super smart guy. Big shout out, John. How about you, Jesse? Do you got any shout outs for us today?
Shout out to East County Heretics, Dominic, Big Mike, everybody on the team. You guys are a gem in the community, and I love seeing you guys. I love playing with you guys. I'd love to have you guys on the show sometime. Just such a cool team. I want to give a shout out to Green Banner. That must have been a massive undertaking for them. I see the multiple game systems, tons and tons of participants, bro. There had to be like 200, 300 people there. There was
a lot
so
of
many
people. I can tell you at least for Sigmar it's 45 people.
Absolutely. And then, I absolutely got to shout out our teammates, Bree, Johnny, and Ben. Some of the greatest players I've ever played with, some of the coolest personalities that you can hang out with, and they're all just gems, and the fact that we all came together and we were the X-Men, bro, it just felt special. It felt like we really were assembling. And I know maybe my teammates' games, didn't go the way they wanted a few times. I remember looking over at Johnny, and he's facing the nightmare eel list from our boy Zach. And I'm like, hey, Johnny, how's your game going? He looks at me with, I can only describe, shell-shocked eyes. And I'm like, you got this? And the eyes look even more shocked. And every 10 or 20 minutes, I'd look over and I'd be like, how's the game going? And he looked even more shocked than the last time. But I think he kept the game close, and he survived the onslaught of eels with great zeal and style. And man, I love my team, bro. Johnny, your Cruel Boys are some of the coolest I've seen. Orcs, I just think are just cool and easy to make cool, and yours just have such a unique style, bro. I love how you talk about it as a Cruel Boy summer, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the Cruel Boy summer. Ben, I love those Blood Knights. I love your Soul Blight Grave Lord list. Uh, Beautifully painted models, and I've been crushed by that list. And if it didn't give you the success you wanted this weekend, that's all right, bro. Keep at it. I love them. I know Vordry doesn't always give you what you want when you need it, but stick with it, brother. Your army is awesome. Bree, your Slaves to Darkness list, it's amazing. Me and Robert have talked about how scary Slaves to Darkness are. You just say the name and people know you're in for it. You're in for a lot of damage, and I know you don't get as much reps in as the rest of us, but it's great to see you out there playing with us, and being Rogue from X-Men was just an awesome touch, and Ben is Beast, and then the Magneto helmet on Johnny. I couldn't ask for more from my team, so thank you so much, guys. And Grizzly, thank you for coming out as the one, the only, the best to ever do it. Wolverine, Weapon X. And I feel like you were our Weapon X, bro, because we just unleashed you on the competition, and you were shredding everybody up. And it felt great to see my boy finish a tournament, a GT 4-1, 7th overall. Just warmed my heart. You got me into this, and I wouldn't be doing this without you. So it's good to see it finally pay off for you, brother. Like, you deserve this. I told everyone, quietly, you're one of the best players on the scene. It's just very quiet. I'm kind of the loud one of the two of us. So it's good to see that, people are going to be looking at your name in the matchups in the future, and they're like, uh-oh, I have to play Grizzly. Uh-oh, he's Sylvaneth. I know this is going to be some work.
Man, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I feel like we put in a lot of work, man, me and you both, and I know the numbers look a little different for both of us, but at the same time, bro, you hung in there with me, and we carried it. Me and you were we were our team's MVPs. I couldn't have done this without you, man. I think you guys took a lot of good matchups, and you know what? Everyone tried really hard, so I'm super happy to be here with you. I'm super happy that this could all happen with you. You were, but the whole time you were I just look over and you're right there. You know what I mean? So it's hey, do you see what's going on? Do you see what's going on? So it is very it's exciting. I remember I thought
we might be the ones weighing our teams down. I thought we might be the ones struggling, but I felt very confident. There was never any point in the tournament where I felt like I'm just being pulverized. I better just throw my hands up in the air and give up. I always felt like I was right about to win. I always felt like I'm right on the edge of busting this game wide open. I always felt dangerous on the board, dude. I never felt like before in tournaments, I felt like my army got neutered very early on, and now I'm just playing into misery. It never felt that way with the Stormcast. I always felt like I had power on deck, and it just felt good, bro. I think we are coming along great as competitive players. I'm excited for the future, dude. I can't wait to see how we do at the next individuals events, bro. You're a really good player, and we have a lot of work to do learning the new GHB, and it's going to take some time before we're comfortable like we were with Scourge of Gyran. But I'm totally ready for the challenges if you are.
No, I think I'm right there with you, man. I think I do want to say I know we got tired of the tactics and we got tired of the battle plans. I did never get tired of the war scrolls and artifacts and enhancement. I never got tired of that part.
Yeah, there was a lot to love for the Scourge of Gyran from the Sylvaneth player, but
100%. I think for a lot of people, it was such a great GHB. Probably the best one I've ever played. I played a couple. This one I really got to participate in, and everybody participated in. You know what I mean? And I know it got super tiring, but it was a blast, bro.
Just imagine, we're not going to play those battle plans anymore. That was it.
Same with the tactics.
Try to get those tactics anymore.
No more scouting course.
Almost while everyone's waiting for this GHB to drop, it almost feels like everyone's kind of taking a deep breath, and nobody's really even investing in playing anymore now. That truly felt like the last hurrah for the Scourge of Gyran. So pour one out tonight for the Scourge of Iran. Smoke one if you got one. It is now officially history books, bro. Everyone's talking Scourge of Akshi. That's what's on the horizon. That's what we'll be covering next. Take us out, Grizz.
I think you're right, man. If you guys enjoyed this episode today, please make sure to follow us, leave a review. You can follow us at Instagram at rolling_recklessly_podcast, or you can check us out on YouTube, where you are probably watching and or listening to us right now, at Rolling Recklessly. I do want to give just like a big shout out to everyone at Green Banner Tournament, from the tournament organizers to the players to everybody there. It was a ton of work, but it was a blast, man. It was a great. I'm super excited to have had that opportunity. We got to meet a lot of awesome people. We got to get just the people I met were super sick. All of the circumstances, everything went really well for the most part. Nobody wants to pay $12 for a beer.
Sure. Yeah.
Beyond that, though, like, very sick. I enjoyed it very much.
Absolutely. Some of our listeners might have not attended a GT yet, or have been thinking about it, or maybe they went to one and then things didn't go quite right and they're scared to go to the next one. I want you to just temper all of that fear and all of that anticipation and go out and do it, because the only way you're going to get better at this game is to go through that scary competition, and it will bring out the best in you. Sometimes it'll bring out the worst in you, but it's gonna put you in a position to grow as a player. You need to go out there and challenge yourself. Maybe not as frequently as me and Grizzly here do, because we are just madmen. We love the hurt.
Yeah,
we love the thrill of the kill. So we're ready to put ourselves in the line of fire to do it. And if this podcast at all makes you feel ready or inspires you to go out there and try, I really hope you do. I hope to see you out there. I hope to run into you and you can be like, hey, we listen to the cast and we love you guys, because we love you right back. And yeah, that's a good place to send us out. So do it how only we know how, Grizzly.
Well, fuck, man. You can't close it out any better, right? Thanks, Scarecrow. Let's close this out the right way. So until next time, may your crits be high, your paint never dry, and your rolls ever reckless.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to Rolling Recklessly.